You know when something happens, you're watching something or it's a sound, maybe it's a smell, and bam, it triggers a memory so strong, like you're just back there. You are there, whatever the memory is. That happened to me today. I was watching a documentary about Hearst Castle, which is a massive, massive structure. It's a castle in San Simeon, California, and it was built by and owned by William Randolph Hearst, who was a massive uh, newspaper tycoon in the 20s. And the memory that it triggered was, God, I had completely forgotten about this. Uh, my mom made a point of, whenever possible, during the summer, which back in the olden days, summer meant uh, you were just free. You were free. We were feral and free for almost 3 months. My mom, whenever possible, would plan these trips for us to take. And there was always something to be learned from it. Although I'm going to say that she had an amazing ability to teach without me realizing that I was learning. So that's pretty amazing. She would have made an amazing teacher if she didn't dislike kids so much. Anyway, so on this particular trip, it was my mom and I and our friend Lynn and her, and this is so weird. I can't remember if she had a son or a daughter. I don't remember. But this was a pretty epic trip that we took. We went from Long Beach to the redwood forest, and if you ever get a chance to visit the redwood forest, do that. Wow, amazing! Like truly, just yeah, that's the kind of nature you really should experience. You should definitely experience something like that. The giant it's amazing. Do that. So the trip started, started in Long Beach. We went first to Monterey, Monterey, on our way to Hearst Castle. And that's what triggered the memory, was watching this documentary about Hearst Castle, which I love Hearst Castle. I love it so, so much. I have been there 3 times. I haven't taken all the tours yet, but if you like history and drama and architecture, this place is, it's surreal. It's surreal to think that people actually, like, 2 people lived there. Well, and the hundreds of people who cared for it. But William Randolph Hearst lived there with his girlfriend, his mistress, Marion Davies. And it's, if you ever go, you will understand how insane it is to think that 2 people lived in this. Like it's insane. It's crazy. It's also crazy to be able to walk through the halls of this amazing place. And not only is the place filled with the kind of history that you just don't really see anywhere outside of a museum, which is basically what it is. The Hearst family did donate it to the state of California, I don't know, like a decade or so after his death. And it, it was the place of constant parties, basically. All of the Hollywood elite were there. It's just pretty amazing, all the history and all the stars that were there, and you get to walk in those same places. Anywho, on this trip, Monterey is just adjacent to San Simeon, and we, meaning my mom and I, were very interested in it because of the otters. They have, you can see the otters. This is a very long time ago. This is in the 70s. But then while we were there, we heard that there was this beach very nearby where we were camping. It was the 70s, so we were in a VW bus, which was a huge upgrade from the VW Bug that we normally were in when we took these long ass trips up the coast in the summertime. Anyway, so someone, I guess, mentioned that there was a beach very nearby, walking distance, where elephant seals were, like a ton of them, like 100 elephant seals on this one beach. And if you if you're an animal person like I am, like my mom was, obviously she raised me, you hear that and you think, yeah, we're heading to the elephant seal beach right now, immediately, drop everything. So it was just us. And I remember us walking through the sand. It was a long, long sandy area, like not long, big, giant, wide, sandy area, like you would see on the East Coast. And the only reason you don't really see it so much now is because it's all been built upon since the 70s. But so it's this great, big, giant, sandy area, and we're walking towards the water. And as we're walking, I remember hearing and feeling this shoo, like a like that. Feeling it, not in the sense that anything touched me, but in this, like feeling the displacement of the air, like it right by my ear. And it was such an odd, like I'd never heard or felt anything like that before. And I turned to look at my mother, and she is looking at me the same way I'm looking at her. Just like, what's that? What's that? And then all of a sudden, her eyes got giant, huge, and she grabbed me and threw me to the ground, face down into the sand, and said, "Follow me now." And she was like, "Now, now, now, follow me." So we are army crawling it to the beach. And it turns out nobody thought to mention that that area, and it was not marked in any way. There was no fencing, there were no signs. We just walked right through to this beach. We were in the middle of an archery range. An archery range. People were shooting arrows. Like people who did this, I don't know, professionally, probably not the right word, but they were so far away we couldn't even see them. They were like over a very slight crest of a hill, and they're shooting arrows, and we're walking through the middle of this. Yeah. So we army crawl, and we get to the beach, which there's this like a crest of a hill, and when you're on that crest, you look down onto the beach. It's very close. It's right there, and this beach is, there were over 100 elephant seals. Oh my God. If you're an animal person, oh my God, it was absolutely, it was a stunning sight. Most people will never get within the, I don't know, maybe 10 feet that my mother and I were standing away from these elephant seals, because as it turns out, they're very aggressive and very territorial. And they're really fast. You wouldn't think that they could move quickly, but I have since learned that they can fucking motor when they want to, when they are agitated, when they get aggressive. Didn't happen to us, and we even walked closer to them. They are enormous. Like they're massive, and there's 100 of them on this one beach. And we were standing there, and we just sat down and watched these amazing animals. And yeah, so should have, could have died twice. Oh man, the 70s were just different. Like you had to be stronger to survive the 70s.